Well, the number one thing you have to understand is that there's players, and at our club there'd probably be 10 or 12 players that hope to be drafted this year. You know, I thought maybe 3 or 4 might have been. Jake Riccardi was last year at GWS. So they've all trained for 2 months or 3 months and really looking forward to the season. And now, you know, no fault of anyone's, they're missing out. So they've been asked whether they'll play for free. And really the fact is they're saying yes, they want to play because they want to give themselves an opportunity to show what they can do for their chance to get drafted. So I'm anxious about them and their you know, feelings to a bit of futility, because they're waiting for some sort of roadmap from the AFL to say, this is what's happening and this is when it's going to happen. And, you know, the coaches are the same. Everyone's feeling like waiting and not really happening. So, you know, the roadmap will come soon, but we're not quite sure when it is. Yeah, it's been brilliant with the use of you know, Zoom and that. But you know, we have plenty of meetings. There's been great banter amongst the players. The coaches are having line meetings. We're watching some video where you know, it could be favourite songs, favourite movies. It could be a nutritionist is doing a whole stack on nutrition with the players and giving them a daily task to do. So it's been great. In that regard, to keep them connected. There's about 8 of our players that have gone back to interstate where they come from. Obviously, they don't have to pay rent when they go home, and they've got jobs there. So there's a whole lot of things that have been happening, trying to keep them in best place and mentally, so they feel good and they're not too stressed about their income or their employment. So that's been great, but at the same time, everyone's still really concerned and really keen to get back and join their mates and have a few games. Honestly, the latest I've heard, really as late as this afternoon, the AFL are really hopeful that there'll be 7 or 8 games this year. You know, if there's 7 teams play, there might be 6 games played this year, so that those young guys get the opportunity to show what they can do. You know, we've all got probably 8 to 10 19-year-olds from last year, and you know, we want to win, and all the clubs certainly want to win, but we're right into development of players. And, you know, for the VFL to be seen as the number one spot to develop players, we're all about that, and we're all going to back that without any doubt. I'm sure that the AFL will start to, you know, restructure, whether it's the NAB Cup or, sorry, the NAB League, through women and girls footy, through VFL, so that VFL becomes a stepping stone to the elite competition. It's important to understand and realise that, you know, having been 3 startup clubs of the AFL, and the only person that has in the whole AFL, to have older players around young players is really important. So don't disregard and think, oh, you can have all young players, because it becomes a little bit of, you know, some players just don't develop as well without, you know, more senior players around them. So that's important, and understand the value of old players or experienced players. But, you know, every club still has an agenda to win. And if you look at Geelong recently, certainly Richmond, they've had really good second sides, and then they've become really good senior sides as well. So let's not negate the idea of having a winning mentality and culture and environment is really good for the development of the young players as well. Look, we don't care who we play as long as we're playing. The fact is, though, all of those competitions have cost so much money in regard to travel. Having even been at GWS, you know, we didn't have enough money to fly down to play in Canberra. We had to catch buses, and that was, you know, probably 8 years ago now. So with what's happened since, you can imagine the the airfares of people flying all over the place is going to cost probably too much money and be prohibited. But I do understand, GWS and the NEFL, the competition is not as good as the VFL, and it actually is not as the progression for players who might get 45 possessions, kick 10 goals in the NEFL, to move up to the AFL, it's a huge jump, whereas it's not that bigger jump to play top quality VFL and then go to the AFL the next week. I am doing work with one-on-one football where I'm mentoring kids one-on-one, and people can kind of book me in and draft the kids that want to get drafted and stuff. I'm helping them now, so it's pretty exciting. I really enjoy it. The kids could be 5 years old, or the kids could be 24, or anywhere in between. So, the other day, one of them I took down to watch St Kilda train. We sat and watched, their preparation and their professionalism, and then where this kid plays, we watched people in that position and saw traits that he needs to do and understand what's happening in the game, and all things. To sit there for an hour and a half with some kid, I'm thinking it's pretty valuable time that not too many people have had.